Hello beautiful person, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chu, and today we're going to be going over 4 mixing concepts that will help your trap drums hit harder. So step 1 of this is going to be the entire concept of soft clipping and why it is important. Step 2 is going to be using gain staging, but understanding how to use it at the most basic level possible so that you get the most out of it, and we'll go deeper into why that's important and how to do that. Step 3 is using equalization to free up space for your low end drums and the rest of your drums in general, honestly. And then step 4 is using signal flow and submastering to get even more punch on your beats. So the only other thing I have for you today is that I have the free 14 drum kit linked below. It's the first link in the description. It's the best kit on the internet for trap producers that is not the centerfold drum kit, so you can check that out below as well. It's just a whole bunch of good stuff all around. Go ahead and check it out. The landing pages will do a much better job of explaining it than I ever could. And also check out our Discord, which is where I'm going to be getting the loop to cook up this beat today. It is the cleanest, safest Discord for internet producers by a damn country mile, and we'd love to have you there. Come through, check it out. Let's get into the cook up. Got lost in the sauce. So yeah, step 1, bro. So step 1 is really cool. So if you've watched more than like one of my videos in the last like 5 months, you know that when I say this, I really mean it. And it's that brick wall limiting and soft clipping is the sound of modern music. Let me explain why really quickly. Is because we are able to mix louder than we were able to even like 10 or 20 years ago. All of that can be culminated in a simple brick wall limiter or a simple soft clipper. No, the fruity soft clipper is not gonna get it done compared to what I'm talking about, so you don't have to ask anymore. No, let me answer it for you. No, learn how to use the limiter with the clipper, learn how to use limiters in general, or just buy one. Like, stop wasting money on stupid shit and just buy one. It's not expensive, it's not hard if you care. So you can use something like TR5, which I use a lot, which is right here. So let's toss that on and see what that's going to sound like. And it's simple. Once you get it, it's not complicated. Boom, go to the preset. This is the preset I use every time. Listen to it. I haven't done any, I on purpose did not mix this beat at all. I didn't even do the gain staging, which we're about to talk about in a second. Once you become competent, you can do things like create your own soft clipping chains, your own brick wall limiting chains, because you've studied the topic of engineering enough, which is why it's important to just learn this shit. So I made this new preset that's gonna come in the alpha update of the centerfold drum kit. So definitely get that, because I still don't know if I'm gonna increase the price of this when I drop it. But basically I just dropped this on my master chain, and that's all stock FL Studio stuff. Boom. Clipper, no clipper. Clipper. regular soft clipper. You do need the soft clipper, but it's not as simple as just adding the soft clipper. This is my limiter. Here's the settings if you just want to copy it. It's really that simple. So the only other thing is this EQ, which is the Trap Smile EQ, which we've talked a bunch about, and that just helps your beats sound better to like the listener. So gain staging is a mystified topic. Simply put, it is leveling. So we all know what leveling is, right? That's just adjusting the levels, but now it's leveling in stages. You do maybe 2 stages, or right, you do leveling in 2 places instead of just 1. Start with your channel rack, and then the next step would be using the mix faders, and then the next step would be using your submaster or your bus faders, right? That's actually pretty good. I'm just gonna lower it a little bit so I have more headroom later. It's gotta add, yeah, that's perfect. It's gotta be louder, so it should bring it up to like almost clipping, and that's really good. So it's perfect. By the way, check out some of the mixing tutorials linked down below if you want to know a deeper understanding of the actual workflow that goes into my mixing. Okay, so we can get into like our second level of gain staging. And we'll just do some leveling inside of the fader. Usually just one right around 0, either +1, -1, or 0. It's just my mixing style. Something interesting that has changed my life is I've seen Wonder Girl and Boy Wonder basically say this in so many places. They'll literally be like, if you want it to hit harder, turn it up. I like my levels the way they are. It's hitting hard. So let's get into step number 3, which is using equalization to free up space for the drums. So the main area that this is important is really the melody, because melodies have a lot of frequency distribution. So a lot of the good ones are going to have some low end in there, especially if they know how to use bass. It's probably just going to have bass in there that's EQ'd, but not totally EQ'd. And it's good to understand that, because you don't want low end from other things to clash with the things that are actually supposed to provide the low end in your beat, which would be the kick or the 808. That's just the main reason. Whenever we say clean up like low end, high end trash, that's what we're talking about. You can open up a parametric EQ. Something that my mentor, my sensei Chris here over at Baron Studios in Houston, Texas, taught me is fundamental character, and it is an actual musical concept. And it's basically whatever frequency in the distribution is providing the actual tonality that makes the melody or the instrument sound like what it is. One of the cleanest EQs you can make and know that you didn't fuck it up is to EQ past the fundamental character and then come back to just before that is it, so that you EQ out everything on the low end that is not the fundamental character. So boom, that's past the fundamental character. I'd say like right there. I'm also gonna just kind of grab this and roll it off a little bit on the high end. Just a little bit. Who made this? VGS? This is amazing. It's good stuff. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come to every instrument that is not the kick or the 808, and it is as simple as just grabbing this console EQ. And pretty much every digital audio workstation I've ever seen has something, like every good digital audio workstation I've ever seen. It's gonna seem like it's inaudible, but from an audio engineering perspective, it's doing something, because it's, at the end of the day, it's just a damn math problem. So the last place I want to do an EQ would be here on this 808. Now you can pretty much do this every time. You don't have to really listen for it. So I'll just do a high pass, put it at 48 decibels, and put it like anywhere between like 15 and 21 and 25 hertz, because that is just inaudible low end trash that is being forced through your speaker because it's there. And if you clean up even a little bit, it's just going to make the volume for all the other frequencies that are actually heard in your 808 accentuate so much more. And you can tell that because it's gonna make our 808 hit at a higher level. When we didn't have this, like look, so it's hitting at 3 right now, right? Like damn near at 3 because we added this EQ. Boom, if I take that off, it's gonna go lower. It's gonna go back to like around 6 where we had it. So why is that happening? because we're forcing more volume. It still has all of its volume, and now it must force that volume to other areas, which is just going to increase its overall like decibel output. Okay, so let's get into this last step, which is basically just using signal flow to create submasters. So again, I have a much deeper signal flow guide linked below, free. It's just on my YouTube channel. Check it out because it's going to explain this shit on a much deeper level. I'm kind of just going to move quickly through this. So we're going to route everything to this track only, and we'll go ahead and turn off this melody real quick because we're thinking more drums today. So we'll rename this as drum bus. We're going to create a send off of this drum bus so that we create an entire copy of that, and then we're going to put effects on that in order to give our drums more bounce and more stereo. Not more bounce, but more punch and more stereo. There we go. We're not going to have it on we're going to EQ it out of that low end anyway, so let's just listen to what it sounds like on all the mid and high percussive elements. Just a little bit more, and then we're going to EQ on that drum room verb just using this console EQ, just to about like right there. Should be fine. It's usually good for me. So one more thing we can do is, so this is why doing the bus is so cool, is because now you can add like sub mastering effects to make your drums hit even harder. And I just like this bass buddy. It's just so nice. And we could add some neutron, pick a preset. Bro, VGS, you snapped on this shit, bro. I can't even lie to you. So let's recap everything we went over today. So step one is understanding how important it is to mix into your soft clipper. You must do it. I'm not gonna really try to convince you. I'm not here to debate facts. You got to do it. Step two is to begin your gain staging with the primary volume controller. Just start with the lowest level. You could do it in piano roll. Don't recommend it. Just start from the channel rack. That's usually just the most intelligent and most intuitive place for anybody who's competent in audio engineering. Just start from the channel rack, move up, mix fader, submaster. You could also do it within the actual plugins you're using. Just consider that there's always multiple levels of volume in anything you're doing. Step three is using equalization to free up space for your drums. In general, just understand how important it is that everything has frequency distribution, and that you want to work with that to create the hardest punch possible. And then step four is using signal flow and submastering to get even more punch and more control over your mix. So thank you so much for watching. We're going to use this project to go over arrangement in the next tutorial, so I'm excited to get into that. Get the 14 drum kit. It's free. First link in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member if you want to always watch these types of uncut tuts. There's a lot of gems that you end up missing out on when you get the cut up version, and I just simply cannot drop a long video every day because of the fact that most viewers are not interested in that. But if you happen to be one of those people, consider becoming a channel member for as low as $2. I love you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.